Good afternoon, class. Let us find out who's present. Collins Mwenda.
Present.
Brian Ombula.
Present.
Well, make sure during and after the class you go to the LMS and check your attendance so that we can have a good list of who was present and who was not.
Okay, sir.
So today our class and our session title will be ISO Standard A Series Paper Sizes. We shall understand what that means as we go forward. Okay?
Excuse me, Walim.
Yes, sir.
I cannot see your screen.
Let me adjust it. Just give me a moment. Can you see it now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let us proceed. Does anybody else have that same problem?
No.
Okay. All right, so today's learning outcomes are that by the end of this session, you, the trainee, should be able to identify the commonly used ISO standard A series paper sizes. And 2, describe the relationships between the various paper sizes that you are going to identify. Okay?
Okay.
So on screen, as you can see, there is a handout showing paper sizes for different series. Look at the second row, the second column, sorry. So the second row that begins with format. It has format and then A series, then B series, then C series. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
So all of those are paper sizes.
Yes,
And
yes.
all of those are paper sizes, but you're going to focus only on the A series for this class. We shall talk about the B series and C series in later sessions. In any case, the A series are the ones we usually use for technical drawing commonly. So that is what you're going to focus on. That is what you're going to focus in using even later in your career. Okay? So let us proceed. Now, this table 2.1 that is on your screen only shows A series paper sizes from paper size A0. Can everyone see A0?
Yes.
Yes.
And its dimension there in millimeters. So this handout only shows A0 to A4. The reason being, those are the commonly used paper sizes for technical drawing, and those are the ones we are going to discuss today. Okay?
Okay.
So now pay attention to those dimensions that we have on screen. Like begin with A0. The width for A0 is 841 millimeters by length 1189. If you compare those dimensions with what we have for paper size A1, you will observe that 841 is repeated, except it stops becoming the width and now becomes the length. And then the 1189 is divided by 2 to give us 594. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
You can observe that 1189 divided by 2 is not exactly 594. The reason for that is because it is a standard that the industry has accepted to be like that. So now let us proceed and observe the relationship between A1 and A2. Again, 594, the width for A1 is retained as the length for the next paper size, which is A2, but the length for A1 is halved. Again, not an exact half for the same reason as we have discussed earlier. 841 divided by 2 is 420.5, but the industry has accepted it to be 420 as a general practice. But as we proceed from A2, then A3, and then onwards to A4, you'll observe that we now have exact divisions from the length to produce the width for the next paper, and again for the length of that paper to produce the width for the other paper. Progressively, if you were to continue with this trend, you'd end up at A10, and you'd be correct with the paper sizes that you will have come up with. Okay?
Okay.
Does anyone have a question up to there?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So everybody has understood?
Yes.
So now on screen, I am displaying a chart that shows the relationship between the paper sizes we have just talked about. If you are keen, at the bottom left corner, you'll notice that there is a designation A0. And the length in millimeters is given there, 841 by 1189. If you were to go back to the previous screen, you will see that those dimensions are exactly the same as what you have discussed. Has everybody seen that?
Yes.
I will send you these materials later so that you can review them in your own free time. But pay attention now as we're in class. So A0 with its dimensions and A1 again with its dimensions. If you were to observe that image, can everybody see that if you were to fold A0 in half, you'd end up with 2 A1 paper sizes?
Yes.
Yes.
Ombula,
Yes.
can you see that?
I can.
Is it clear enough for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So then what happens when you fold A1 by half? Can somebody answer that? Somebody in class? A
You
volunteer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Collins?
You get two papers of A2.
Okay. A2. Does everybody agree with that?
We agree.
That means the chart is very clear.
Yes.
So how do we obtain paper size A5? Can somebody give us that relationship from what we have on the chart? Yes, John?
We divide the length of A4 by 2.
Yes, that is correct. You divide the length of A4 by 2 to give us 2 A5 paper sizes. Or simply, as we are doing it, when you are doing it in class, if in case you were told to come up with that paper size and you are given the paper itself, we just fold A4 into half. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Let us proceed. Now, that relationship you have just talked about can be discussed also in this manner, where x and x as a ratio to y, where x is the length of the paper size and y is the width. X ratio y is equal to 1 ratio square root of 2. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
So that now if you are to multiply x and y, should give you 1. Alright?
Yes.
And then the successive side, as you have it on your screen, are obtained by either halving along the length or doubling the width. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
Does anybody have a question up to there?
No.
So you'll find that this simple ratio can just be explained as we have been explaining it previously. You fold the paper size, the length of the paper size in half to come up with the width of the next paper size. All right?
Yes.
Okay, let us proceed. But before then, do you have a question? I would not like to go past here without you understanding everything about this, because these are the papers you're going to be using for classwork and for your assignments and in future where you're going to work. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let us summarize what we have learned today. What are the commonly used paper sizes in technical drawing? Everybody just give me one answer and then I shall respond. Yes, Sambula?
A4.
Yes, John?
A3.
Yes, Patience.
A1.
Patience, is that you? Can you hear us?
A1.
All right, thank you. The other paper sizes are A5, A3, and A4. I think those ones are the ones that have not been mentioned. But the commonly used ones are the ones you have talked about, between A0 and A5. All right. So what is the relationship between those paper sizes that you have just identified? Who wants to volunteer? Yes, Collins?
So the relationship between the paper sizes
Yes.
is when you want to get a smaller paper size,
Yes.
you have the length
Yes.
of the larger paper size. For example, if you want to get A3,
Yes.
you have divide A2
Yes.
into 2 equal parts.
Okay. And does that work for all paper sizes? Yes, Ombola?
Yes.
What is the exception? What is the exception? I will explain that to you. You remember we talked about the industry standard where we talked about some paper sizes being divided but not exactly at half. And we agreed that was the industry standard that has been accepted, and that is what you are going to adopt even us, because you are joining this industry. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Now, because we've talked about drawing paper sizes today, for your assignment, as you prepare for the next class, I want you to conduct research using the tools available to you to find out the desirable properties of a good drawing paper. Okay?
Okay.
When are we submitting the assignments, Mwalim?
Because you're using it to prepare for the next class, I shall want to see it as we join the next class, so that we know where we are beginning from. All right?
Yes.
All right. So we shall end there for today, and have yourselves a good afternoon, and thank you for joining the class. You may leave at your own pleasure, but please remember to sign your attendance at the LMS. I shall develop an attendance sheet from this video conferencing tool, but it's very good also to sign your attendance at the LMS so that we can have something to compare with, okay?
Yes.
Okay, we don't want somebody claiming they were in class when they were not, or that they were missed out. All right?
All right.
All right, have yourselves a good afternoon.